Thank you for joining me. My name is Tina Kovergich. I'm a Canadian independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I'm located just east of Toronto in a town called Ajax. You can always reach me at northernstamper@gmail.com. I'm very excited to do today's Takeaway Tuesday. We are using a kit that is called Heirloom Arrangements, and I got to tell you, this kit is fantastic. If you just follow along with the kit itself and the instructions, you can make, I think it was 8 cards based on the designs that they have here. What's really interesting about this kit today um, is that there are designs for 1 card of each design, where normally they usually make a card design for 3 cards that you can make the same and they repeat. But this one is really interesting. They've set it up that you can make any kind of type of card that you want. And what I'm doing is I'm making a variety. I've been able to make 16 alternate cards using this kit. It is absolutely fantastic. And I'm going to show you one of the cards today. And we're going to make. Another thing is when you purchase this kit with me, I will showcase how to make a variety of other kits in a private message group. And they are some fancy folds and stuff like that. Just wanted to let you know. I have wanted to mention to you something before I get started. This is quite exciting. I'm very excited about this. This is an event I'm going to be hosting. Whoops. In September, and it's called a crop. Now, even though a crop is, you may not know what a crop is. A crop is, it used to be started when people would scrapbook and they would get together and crop their pictures down. But nowadays, it's going to mean a little bit something different. I am offering a weekend away, September 12th to 14th, at Stone Ridge Hotel in London. And the idea of this event is, you know what, I don't know about you, but I have a whole bunch of odds and sods that are not finished. See, this card is not done. I made some tags that need to be finished up. I got a couple of paper pumpkin boxes or kits that need to be finished up. Like they're not done. And you know what? I find that I don't have the time around the house. So I thought, why don't we all just get together? I found this place. It's called Stone Ridge Hotel. It is fabulous. The food is out of this world, and you don't want to miss this. So what I did is I booked a meeting room for us to go and um, kind of just get together. You bring your items that you have not finished. I am also offering classes, but what you do is you bring all of your stuff. Say you got odds and sods like this to finish up making cards or scrapbook layouts, or to say there was something else you wanted to finish up, like maybe knitting, cross stitching. It doesn't have to be paper crafting. It could be anything. So say there were some things you wanted to finish up. And at home, sometimes we get distracted by making dinner or laundry or whatever. We just find we don't have the time. This way, I am offering, we start at Friday at 6 o'clock until midnight, all day Saturday and Sunday from 6 till 3. And what you can do is you can craft and finish up all of those Christmas cards that you want to get started up for Christmas. And it's for $125. But that is only until May the 1st. That's an early bird sign up. After that, it goes up to 150. Now, you may be wondering, that's, $125. What do I get for that? I'm what the best part is, you're going to get some food. So dinner is included on Saturday. You get a Sunday lunch, and if you're staying at the hotel, there is a hot breakfast each morning. And I got to tell you, all of this is fabulous. So you get the meals included on for $125. Really, if you go out for dinner just by yourself or out for dinner or something like that, you're going to be paying $125. You also get a 6 foot long table to yourself. There's a hotel discount I am offering, and it's a great time just to get together and finish up any items that you have. Like what I'm going to do is I'm going to be offering some classes, but I'm also going to be starting my Christmas card making. And this is a perfect time because it's over 30 hours where I can make Christmas cards and bam, get them all done. I'm also going to be there to help you if you have any questions. Plus, I will also bring a lot of my tools and supplies that you can use. If you would like to join me, it's $125, and that includes like the table and the lunch and the dinner and the breakfast and everything like that. There are extras if you want to join in on some classes. You can either comment below or drop me an email at northernstamper@gmail.com. I think this is a really great idea to get finish up some of the things that we have at home. Let me know. I'd love you to join me. I think it's a great idea to get started on a lot of activities or things, cards that we got coming up. Definitely Christmas cards and stuff like that. So let me know. I'm glad everybody's able to make it. Thank you for joining me. And as I said, we are going to be doing a card using the Heirloom Arrangements Kit. Give me a thumbs up if you are ready. And we're going to be making alternative cards. We are not designing the cards that are in here. There are many videos out there that you can watch on that. And there's one particular with Stampin' Up! That walks through each one of these. And it's a good video. So I'm not going to bore you and repeat that. So give me a thumbs up if you're ready to get started. And I'm going to go through some of the items that we're going to be using today. Right, so we definitely need to have our pecan pie ink, and I've used that because I am expanding the alternatives with pecan pie cardstock. I'm going to be using that. So this is my card base, and my pecan pie ink pad. Inside the kit is a stamp set. We got to make sure we have that. That's got some really great sentiments and some cute little items. We're going to be using that. I've got two pieces of basic white, and I've got one piece that is 4 1/4 by 5.5, and I have one piece that is 4 inches by 5 1/4. Now, the reason I have this one a little larger, you're going to see because we are going to do some cutting with that one in particular. So you need two pieces of basic white cardstock. Now, I have the plaster painting embossing folder. You can use any embossing folder that you like. Now, again, like last week, I'm not sure if I want to use the embossing folder or if I want to use the envelopes that come with it. When I look inside the envelopes and open them up, they have a really beautiful design. Okay, open these up. So there's one right there that we could use. Hopefully you can see this. Oh, is it a little out of focus? I think it's a little out of focus. Let's try. Sometimes the camera gets a little out of focus. Is it in focus now? I think it's in focus now. Sorry about that. There is another envelope that has a different design on it, but we could use that. There we go. There's the design on that one. We can open that up. So that is an alternative to the embossing folder, but I think I'm going to use the embossing folder today as opposed to the envelopes, what's inside. Okay, we have that. Right, put that over the side. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be using some dies. And now this is a really old die set I have. I don't know about you. I love some of the old dies that in particular make kind of like a frame. Like this one makes a frame. And this is what I'm going to be using from this. And this one is called Scalloped Contours die. And it has kind of like, you can kind of see the scalloped edges on that. Let's see. Let's kind of find something. There we go. There's the scalloped edges on that. I'm going to be using that. I really like it. Even though it is an old die set, I think we can always go back to our old items that we have and use them to expand things that we're making. I love that idea of tapping into what we already have. I have this open gold weave. I don't know about you. I've talked about it many times. Got to use it. I just love it. So we have that. I think this works really nicely with the pecan pie. Like the color coordination works really nicely with that. Okay, so there we go. We have that. And what we're also going to be looking for is these are the ephemera packs that come in the kit. We're going to be using some of the items that are in here. These are the labels. We're going to use a square rectangle one and one that's a circle. So we're going to look at that. I know it's kind of hard to see because it's white on white. And let's go through some of the ephemera packs. Now, they're really, really pretty. I love looking at the ephemera packs, but we are looking for some in particular. Oh my goodness, like look at those butterflies and the flowers. These are gonna make a fantastic cards. You're gonna love these when you come across them. These are some of the like little tags. We're gonna be using those for other cards. My goodness, there's so many in here. All right, let's keep going. All right. Just kind of being a little careful with that. I'm looking for this flower sheet, and in particular, there's one flower sheet. It's a yellow flower, and it's a large one here. I'm going to be popping that out, and you can see it's yellow flower with a little bit of pink and brown. I want that one in particular. Now, I also want to use some of the items from this vellum pack. Oh, like, look at that. Looks fantastic. Carefully pop these out. I'm going to take this one that's a large green one. Okay, there's a large green one coming out. There's one that looks like a pretty peacock. I'm going to take that one. And there's one more. Oh, this one here, pecan pie. I'm going to be taking that. The rest we're going to be using for other card alternatives for another time. One more piece that we need from the ephemera packs. We're looking for this tag that has a bunch of little butterflies on it. There we go. We're going to take that one. So there, those are the items that we're going to take from the ephemera pack. Okay, got them all going. It seems like a lot of items that we have, but this is going to come together really nicely. Excuse me. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to put these off to the side, put them over there. And I'm going to get my card base and I'm just going to fold it in half. And this is going to be a portrait card. So which means it's going to be up and down. I'm going to fold it in half, or you can always score it. It's totally up to you. And I'm going to make a nice fold line. What you do need to have that I didn't mention is a piece of scrap pecan pie cardstock. So even though we have the card base just like itself, we need one piece of that's going to be a scrap. And I just grabbed something off to the side, and that's a scrap. And we're going to be doing some die cutting with those fantastic dies. We have our card base. What I want to do, remember we had two pieces of basic white. Now I could place the one piece right on top and leave it that way. That would be totally fine. Or if I cut from the envelope, I could cut this piece out like we did last week in Takeaway Tuesday. And you would cut that. If you did cut it, it would be 4 inches by 5 1/4. And we could use that as a mat on the front too. See, it fits nicely in there. But I don't want it flat because I think, it works well, but you know what? Let's step it up a little bit. I'm not going to be using the envelope, even though that's a great idea. You just cut that down to 4 by 5 1/4. What I want to do is I'm going to emboss this. So I'm going to take that piece and I'm going to emboss it. Now I've already run it through the embossing machine, and I did use the plaster painting. Now you may think it's a little sharp to use for the plaster painting, but look at that, how it turns out. It looks really nice. So that is 4 inches by 5 1/4. And as you can see, it fits nicely on top. And look at that. That looks that adds so much dimension. I love embossing folders, and they got some great ones coming out. I don't know about you, but I always seem to lose everything. So before I do anything else, I'm going to glue this down. And let's get some glue that wants to cooperate. And I'm just going to pop it on here and glue it down onto the card base. That's it. And I like to have a nice frame all the way around. There we go. So there we go. I just love that. I think it adds so much dimension to it. Okay. So we have this piece of basic white cardstock on top of our card base. I had mentioned that you need a scrap piece of pecan pie, and the reason is, oops, gotta focus, is I'm going to be cutting a piece using the contour dies. You can use any dies that you have, actually, that you want. Okay, I'm going to be cutting a piece out in it, and the reason I chose this one is I like the kind of bumpy edge on this. So I've already run it through the embossing machine, and I'm just going to pop it out, and it also gives a nice little stitched edge. Okay, and you can see there's nice little stitched edge, and you can see the image, the little bumps around the edges. And I'm going to just lay that on there. Oh, how did I end up with so much? I'm going to place it on here off to the left. Now I'm not going to glue anything down so that you can see how the card goes together. And then once I have it set, then I can do some of my gluing. Okay. So what I'm going to do, remember some of those ephemera packs items that I pulled out? We're going to start building that. So I'm going to take that one with the butterfly. Now I'm taking this pecan pie and I'm offsetting it off to the right a little, to the left. Sorry, I'm offsetting it to the left. And I'm placing the little tag kind of a little lower on an angle. So let's take a look. I know it's a little far away, but there you go. It's on an angle. Just want to make sure that's in focus. And I'm going to take some of my vellum pieces and I'm going to lay them on top, and I'm going to kind of splay them like a little kind of design. Let's place that on there, on here, and there. So I'm kind of splaying them a little bit open. The reason I have them open like that is so that I can lay this one in between. Okay, so it kind of goes like this. I will adjust this in a little bit wider so you can see. So let's take a look. So you can see the vellum pieces off to the side behind it. There's the little tag, but you know what? Remember I told you about that piece of gold? I'm going to be adding that right behind the flowers. Or you know what? I could always add it behind the piece of pecan pie. It's totally up to you. But I'm going to be adding this together. Now it seems a little kind of smushed together, but don't worry. We're going to be expanding that out. I just wanted to show you. So first of all, let's take these off so you see what it's going to look like. And I'm going to place down the piece of pecan pie first. I'm going to glue that down, and I'm going to glue it flat down because everything else is going to have height to it. Now I want to make sure that you can see this when I build it. So it's going to be up a little higher. Glue that down. The rest, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use dimensionals. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually build this, and I put a piece of dimensional just to kind of hold where my pieces are going to go. At least I can always move them a little bit. So I'm using one dimensional to kind of hold. So I'm going to take this, and it's just going to clear on the left side. Okay. I'm going to take another vellum, and I'm clearing it just on the right side. So it's kind of like opening up now. Let's get another piece of dimensional. Now these dimensionals, these pieces where it comes together, will be hidden by a sentiment. Okay. And I could always add that on top. I guess I should put that one on top and down a little bit. Here we go. So we're building it all up together. Now this piece is going to go on top. I think I need a little sticky piece to hold them in spot. Let's see. It's a little piece. I'm squishing him. I'm pushing them into the dimensionals to hold. Okay. So that's coming together really nicely, and that splays out wide enough that I can add this one in the center. Now I have the dimensionals here, so I'm not going to add any more dimensionals on this spot right here, because if I did, and then I add one here, it's going to be kind of off kilter. So I'm going to add the dimensionals to the back of this ephemera flower. Now I'm not placing it down here because otherwise it will be off center. Like it'll kind of be like a lump. So I'm going to put that in there and lay it down. even though you'll notice it kind of gets together all here, we will be trimming that up. Okay. All right. So we have this all nicely glued down. See? Oh, I forgot my ribbon. That's too funny. I'm going to just fold it over and I'm just going to tuck it in. And see, this is what happens sometimes. I'm just going to tuck it in like that. That's a little bit long. Trim it down. I don't know about you. Have you ever made a card and then it was like, oh my goodness, I forgot a piece. Oh my goodness. There we go. We're just going to tuck that ribbon in the side there. Actually, that turned out pretty good. And I had that ribbon sitting there on purpose so that I wouldn't forget. Oh my goodness. There we go. Because I peeled that up. I'm gonna fold this. The paper goes whichever way you fold it. So I put the ribbon in. Oh my goodness, the ribbon actually looks really good in there. That's not where I wanted to place it, but I think it turned out really good. Oh, I love it. I should do another one down here. Do I have another piece? That's a great idea. Let's do another one down here. I'm going to tuck it in here. And I'm going to, let's see. I want to get it under the flowers a little bit. Okay. I'm not going to glue it, but I want to show you what I'm going to be doing next. Where did those pieces of the, you know what? I put it down and now I can't find it. Didn't I tell you? Okay. Oh my goodness, it was the little round circles and stuff. The little labels. Okay, I'm looking. Oh, there they are. Oh heavens. So I got my circles. I got one circle. And it's going to go on there. Oh, you know what? That's going to hide that little ribbon part in there. Okay. I'm going to just fold this over a little bit and make it a little smaller. So I know it's going to fit right in there. Oops. Okay. Let's get these guys together. Put the ribbon in. We'll add it with some dimensionals. It's going to go right there. Squish it in. Because this round piece is going to be on here. And I'm going to stamp this and you're going to see what it's going to look like. So I got the ribbon. One, it's going to got a little image there. But that is not our sentiment. That is going to be an image. This one little piece here will be our sentiment. And that's going to tag just along the edge there. Okay. So we have our ribbon placed in. I want to make sure you stuck there really well. Okay. All right. Good, good, good. I'm going to just put him off to the side. And we have this circle. Got the circle and I have the little rectangle. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with the stamp set and I'm looking for this little butterfly. Or is it a moth? I'm not sure. I think it's a moth. Let's look for the little moth. And that little moth is going to go on this little circle here. And I'm going to stamp him in pecan pie. Let's get him started. Whoop. I'm going to ink him up in pecan pie. And I'm just going to stamp him just like that. Oh, that looks great. Look how fantastic that looks on there. There we go. Okay. The next piece I'm going to look for is, I'm going to look for a little sentiment that fits on this piece of rectangular that I popped out. And I'm going to have the words for you. I'm going to lay it down to make sure that it fits. It fits. Look at that. Looks good. And I'm going to ink that up. And I'm going to stamp my sentiment right on top. Oh, yay. Hey, how exciting. I even got it straight. Okay. Now I got these two pieces nicely stamped. All right. Remember we had that little area that kind of everything comes together. And I have that in dimensional. I'm going to peel that off. And I'm going to pop on that butterfly. And he's going to hide all of the mechanics of where all of the flowers come together. Look at that. Looks really good. Now all that's left to do is to tuck in this little sentiment, and I'm going to make that one flat because I'm going to try and tuck it under that moth. Here we go. And it's right underneath. Here we go. So we kind of have it all built up. Look how gorgeous that looks. Now we could add some little embellishments that we have. I'm going to just look through some of the older embellishments that I have, and I'm going to see if I have something that is either pecan pie color. Oh, there's one with a pecan. That's exactly pecan pie color. This is an old embellishments that I found. These were from a while ago. So I'm going to put a couple of those on. Those are the exact colors. So this is kind of why we sometimes keep some pieces from old sets. I'm going to put that on there. Now we're not quite done. Like that outside looks fantastic. That reminds me of like an old timey kind of card. I don't know about you. I just love I really think the ribbon adds quite a bit to that. But we're not done yet. Remember, I had 2 pieces of white. Remember? 2 pieces of white. We had one that's a little larger. What I want to do is I'm going to die cut again with the larger one. And this is going to be for the inside. Let's pop this off and see how this turned out. You can do this with anything. You can always just make it square and put it on the inside like this one. Like, why not? Pop out some of these edges, these pieces that were stuck. Okay. And we can either stamp a little sentiment on here for the inside or an image. And I think that's what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp an image for the inside of this card. Oh my goodness, this is going to be fantastic. I love this. This looks really good. So before I stamp, I'm just going to lay it in there. Make sure everything is the way it should be. All right, look at that, how that's going to fit right in there. I think that looks really, really nice. I could just leave it the way it is, but you know what? I just love that little moss so much. I'm going to be adding a couple of little moss in there with pecan pie. Now I'm not gluing it down and then stamping because sometimes if you use the glue, it kind of makes it a little lumpy. So I'm just going to stamp this here, one up there, and I'm going to have one coming in. There we go. I just love that. I think that looks so fantastic. Look at that. Oh my goodness. I'm just going to place that in the center there. Oh, looks good. Looks a little bit more finished than just a piece of basic white. And pop that inside. There we go. And that is our card for Takeaway Tuesday using the Heirlooms arrangement. Like, I gotta tell you, I just love this. Now, don't forget to join me for next week. We're going to be doing a different card design using this kit. I think that looks fantastic. I just love the ribbon, love all the pieces put on together, and check out the inside. Don't forget to join me or comment below if you would, if you're interested in joining me for the weekend away. It is in a St. Thomas or London area. It is an absolute fantastic place to go, and we had so much fun. So, it, like I said, $125, and it includes some meals, some fun activities. We got some make and takes, a whole bunch going on. So gather up all your odds and sods of things that need to be done, or get your Christmas cards started, and let's get going. If you have any questions, just drop me an email, northernstamper@gmail.com, or just comment below. Anyways, thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed today's card, and I cannot wait to see how yours turned out. Take care and have a good day.